What is up, fragrance lovers everywhere out there in YouTube land? Thanks for joining me here on my channel, Stephen Sturgill. Let's get into it. Once again, guys, we're looking at the house that is Lorenzo Villoresi, Firenze, which means Florence. Firenze means Florence in Italiano. Um, don't have the box. I'm sure it's somewhere around here, but at any rate, this is Theseus. Theseus. Hi, Rich. Glad to see that you made my live cast. I haven't been posting in a while, but I'm back on the channel. This is an EDT, like most, if not all, of Lorenzo's offerings. But I will tell you guys something about. I have not yet tried a Teint de Neige. Yeah, I really am looking forward to trying it, Rich. Just haven't had a chance to do that yet. What I like about so far, at any rate, about Lorenzo's line, and I've got 2 or 3 now. For EDT guys, for eau de toilettes, these really hang on to skin like there's no tomorrow. I mean, they're not quite as robust as some of the nuclear eau de parfums concentrations, but I can promise you, you'll get an easy 8 to 10 hours out of most of these. And if you go really heavy, get a bunch on your clothing, you could easily smell it, assuming you don't wash your clothes, like probably 72 hours afterwards. Not a lot, but you'll get some of the aroma. Let's get into the notes first, guys, and then I'm going to hit you with some of my thoughts on this scent. You'll see what I mean here in a second. Let's get into the note breakdown. So, by the way, this dropped in 2011. I believe the nose was also Lorenzo Villoresi, obviously out of Florence. I think he's made that abundantly clear with the Firenze. Florence-based Italians, or like all Italians, are extremely proud of where they're from, of their city, of the way that they see the world, the way that they do business, the way that their food, their music, just their nuances, their distinctions, if you will, are highly characterized and prized. So having said that, let's get into this wonderful concoction. It is unisex. I do think it skews a bit masculine, if I'm totally honest, but it is unisex, so bear that in mind. Top notes: citrus, green notes, black pepper, bergamot, clary sage, nutmeg. Now into the heart: iris, jasmine, precious woods, whatever that is, patch or patchouli, vetiver, cistus. And then finally, in your wonderful base, you're going to get leather, vetiver, patchouli again, agar wood or oud, those are pretty much interchangeable, tonka, amber, and musk. Now, on the one hand, that may sound like they threw in the whole kitchen sink. It is and it isn't true. It's very skillfully blended. I mean, this is true magic. This is absolute artistry in the perfume world. Because if a lesser perfumer had thrown all of these ingredients in, especially in a 2019, 2020 type attitude, if you will, it's highly likely that it would be simply overpowering, overwhelming. It'd be just a cacophony of scent, aromas, and notes. It would probably be too much for most people. Of course, there's some hardcore guys out there and gals that like really robust, funky stuff. But what it is, they have really added, almost in the French way, sorry, Italy, almost like the French have taught us for many centuries, and especially decades, that while it's fine to throw in 60 to 100 to 300 different ingredients, you still need to very artfully, skillfully marry these ingredients together in such a way that it forms a silky, smooth tapestry for the most part, and that you don't want any one pixel. If these were pixels, you wouldn't want any one pixel just being too naughty or showing too strong in the pic, other than in terms of defining a photograph. But I mean, they need to play well together. They need to sort of melt together in such a way that it kind of is hard to tell where one note starts and another note begins or finishes. So with that in mind, there is a lightly soapy, and I think it's probably the iris more than anything, along with the jasmine, that creates this subtly sophisticated, almost British sensibility of clean, posh, refined, relaxed. But then behind that, or on top of that, you do have subtle nuances of the patchouli, especially the vetiver, the cistus, a little bit of that patchouli. The patchouli I like here because it's quite mild. It's along with the cistus and the agar wood, which is very, very mild. I'm glad that they didn't hit the oud punching bag too hard. It just creates a lightly woody, aromatic, very, very soft air of sophistication. Again, you get that soapiness, but it's not overly soapy. You do get hints of the leather, but it's just a whispered hint of leather. It's a whispered hint of agar wood or oud, the tonka, the amber, and the musk, just creating this artful, very lightly musky. Again, it's not musk focused, right? It's all these ingredients are in there, but they're creating something that on the one hand is less than what they all are, and on the other hand morphs into this brand new thing, this new fabric that, although it's still very low key, it's sort of more than the sum of all the parts. So I think it's really, really weird how how Lorenzo was able. Well, it's just magical how he accomplished that. You get little hints of the clary sage and nutmeg and the black pepper, but it's along with the bergamot. And what's nice about this fragrance also, guys, is that there's this little green herbal, almost like a tobacco bitter, but toned way, way down. And that's going to last for virtually most of the, if not the entire fragrance. The citrus aspect in here tends to hang on for the majority of the ride. And while it may not be so easy just to say, aha, that smells like this, or I smell this note or that note, it just creates this air of luxurious comfort, cleanliness, refinement. It's really, really a very, very unique Italian release in terms of the fact that it's an EDT, but it hangs on for the most part like an eau de parfum. Doesn't quite push as hard as an eau de parfum. It pushes well if you're sweaty. If you're not, it tends to stay really low key and close to skin. But if you go heavy, again, people should be able to smell you well into the fourth, if not fifth hour. After that, you're gonna have to get real close, but you will still have it on you. You still will be able to smell it, on your person, if you will. So I give this a light recommendation. I didn't knock my socks off, but I think it's a really interesting dumb reach in terms of if you want something that is, like I said, elegant, classy, refined, quite old school in a way, yet with some new twists and ideas thrown in there. It's pretty unique as fragrances go. So on those notes alone, I do recommend this, but with an asterisk, in the sense that this isn't as readily a sexy, super chic Gucci offering or Prada offering. It's not quite in those veins. It's not going to give you that posh, super city vibe, super modern. This is, again, a mashup of old world meets new world, and it's done more with, I think, a view of the old world, but in a way maybe that is a little more new world. So it's pretty, like I said, quite unique. These retail for about between 90 to about $135 online, just in general. And you may pay a little more if the fragrance is out of production or really hard to get, and you may get lucky and find one for 70 or $80, especially testers, if they're just more common and a lot easier to get. And I think this is really for anyone that wants to smell elegant, refined, likes a little bit of that soapy, leathery, vetivery aspect in there, along with those other elements. Certainly the iris and the jasmine stand out with the citrus and the green notes. But it all really, like I said, works together to create a very, very pleasant concoction indeed. Yep, smells good. It's woody. It's green. It's a little bit dusty, dry, smoky. Not smoky in the sense of smelling the smoke, but like the after effect of like smoked leaves or herbs or something like that. And there's almost the faintest hint of something like an oaky liquor aspect, and buried deep, deep down, but it's very dry. It's not wet. So that's going to wrap it up for my take on Theseus. Again, this house of Lorenzo Villoresi is very, very interesting and fairly recommended. Well, what am I saying? It's highly recommended. But just as long as you understand what you are and are not getting, I think with this house is not, it's not even Elisab, it's not Gucci, it's not Prada, it's not Salvatore Ferragamo, but it does offer, I think, sort of slightly indie type vibes. It's sort of artisanal. It's a little bit niche, and it does still have some kind of designer element to it. So it's kind of a strange hybrid type of house in terms of Lorenzo's approach. It has overall, certainly in terms of his house, it has a designer-esque consistency and appeal and quality, but it all sort of more or less harkens or smells like stuff that would be indie, that would be artisanal, that would be niche for that matter, but not uber high niche. This isn't niche like 400 a bottle type niche. It would be niche closer to like 150, 175, maybe 200, maybe 225. I don't think, in my humble opinion, I don't think the presentation nor the quality ingredients quite get to that rarefied earth of like 250, 275 a bottle. But that's just my personal opinion. It is still very excellent juice, no doubt. And as Rich says, it smells like really high-end talc. I think that's a very on-point comment, Rich. It does kind of have that high-end talc type vibe smell. But again, if you train your nose and give it time, you're going to be able to smell a lot more going on in here, but it's just so melded together. It's really quite intriguing in a way. That's going to do it, guys. Thank you for grabbing my live stream. For those of you who didn't, you can just catch me on the rebound and hit play at your heart's desire whenever it's convenient for you. If you like my channel, guys, please subscribe and click the bell for future updates. That's going to do it. Signing off. Spray often, spray well. Live life on your terms, baby. Love you guys. We're getting there. 2020 is almost here. Peace out.